Okay, my friends, this should be very interesting for you and for me. I do light research, and this is everything that gives off light. I have to explain. I have to be able to explain what the hell is this. They say that is a UFO, possibly. They don't have any idea what that is. The truth is out there, CBS Morning News. I'm going to show you their report, and I want you to stop and think about what you see before you continue on, because I'm going to tell you what I see. Okay, once again, CBS Morning News, here they go. This is what they're going to report. Here it is.
Mysteries. Now, for the first time, the agency investigating these UFOs held a public meeting revealing its research. My God. Videos like these capture the hundreds of unidentified aerial phenomena.
First of all, I want to point out one thing. You see how very, very black and very, very white, and one of them will turn from black to white? That's the dipole flood theory. How they're accomplishing that, I am not certain, but I'm seeing it very clearly.
Phenomena, or UAP sightings each year.
See?
Oh my God. Now, an independent team formed by NASA is addressing how and why it's investigating
see the white
incidents.
and the black?
The presence of UAPs raises concerns about the safety of our skies.
In the group's first public meeting Wednesday, experts stressed the need for more high-quality observations to uncover the truth.
In fact, if I were to summarize in one line what I feel we've learned, it's we need high-quality data.
How about this? I'm going to show you something of very high quality. This was of exceptional interest to me because of all of the light. These are basically light particles that you're seeing here. And again, the dipole flood theory shows that wherever there's white and black together, that's a dipole interaction, creating magnetic fields. And you can see this is white and this is dark back here. We've got some things to talk about. Okay, there's a bunch of statements made that were not correct, and they are not looking for what is right in front of their faces. Now this is part of my dipole electron flood theory, and this just shows you what happens when particles come through space and they impact. They leave a dark zone behind and a white zone in front, and the black and whites sort of play around with each other. We're going to go through all this in very, very deep detail, but I can't do it right now. It's going to take a little time. But what I'm getting at is, as far as I'm concerned, UFOs are taking advantage of the dipole energy things that I'm talking about. I don't know how they're doing it. I have no clue whatsoever. But I can see all the signatures of the things that I presented. I'd like to see what NASA has to say about that. That would be interesting. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, is that white shower, the electron shower, crashing into the darkness of dark matter. That's all I can say. It turns into these Higgs fields right here. And that is exactly what we see happening coming right out of Venturi. That's straight out of Venturi. See that? This pretty much sums it up. That was straight out of that Venturi right there, creating those Higgs fields all over the place. When it hits the Venturi, it does this right here. What is this stream right here? Is the particle which was in this wave. The reason there's a wave because there's a big magnetic field around that particle. So the particle goes, the wave has got to plow through all of this stuff ahead of it. Now, once we accelerate it, it shot right out of the magnetism. The magnetism fell behind it, and the particle is now exceeded the speed that it's supposed to go, which you would call the speed of light. That's acceleration. Now, here is what happened. The particle that was here starts to gain energy as it goes faster and faster and faster and faster. And now it starts to concuss with itself because it can't get through this slit easily. I mean, it's gonna. The white can get through, the black cannot. I will show you that right here. Here's the slit. Here's the black right here, which, whoops, is this black right here. Kabish? That black is this black. That right there is the Venturi, which is here. The Venturi is a tiny little slit here. You can't see it because there's so much brilliance of the explosion, basically, to get through there. Now, again, we had the muon, which is the black ball. We had the white turning into a shower. No question that this happened. Now, how did it all start? It started with this particle. And where did that particle come from, and why is it glowing like this? That particle is the particle that is a light photon. This is a photon of light. They have now announced that you can see these with CMOS, and exactly what we're doing, identical to what we're doing. I've been doing it for years and years. And this is the product that we can see as the particle becomes extremely excited. That's the key. CMOS is a receiver of extreme illumination. They use them to see cosmic rays. Actual cell phones, I'm not kidding you, look it up, cell phone as a cosmic ray detector. They're using them right now. And they've been using them for 10 years almost. Now, this is the particle that they have found in their gigantic colliders, and we find them here in our tiny little photon crusher. And all we did was crush the fields and instead of trying to hit them head on. Hitting them head on is almost impossible. Hitting them sideways, crushing them into that venturi, as you can see right here, all that is a crusher. It's a crushing device. All right, as that particle comes down here, it's all stacking up at that crushing device right here. And the black ones can't get through. They're just... And then when I say they're slapping, they are slapping these white ones. You can't see it, but there's a ton of black ones under here. The black can hide behind the white, but the white cannot hide behind the black. Black just obscures it. See the black on top of that white? This white is as brilliant can be. Same down here. But the black can obscure the white because it does not absorb, it does not emit, it does not reflect, and it obscures. Only when it becomes on top of the white, and it will never be on top of the white once you get to the proton level. The proton level will always be like this. Hold on, I got one right here. Oh, why can't I ever find what I want when I want to find what I want? Here it is, right here. This literally is what a proton looks like. All the black goes to the center. You see all these little black spots? They just couldn't go right to the center, gravity. Then all the white ones try to collect around it. So you got all the black in the center, then you got a good-sized layer of white ones around it. How many ever particles of black ones are in the center? I pretty much assume you're going to have the same number surrounding them. So that is your core. And then outside of that, you'll have your orbitals. They missed this whole section right here. This just, nobody's ever known about it. This is your electron base. And then your orbitals are out here. They want to get into the black. They can't get in. This is your base. It says, no, 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 you stay out here. We're electrons. We push, we push, we push, we push, we push. And we have enough here, so stay out there. You can stay right there. And if you want some more guys, one of them can go over here, one over here, one over here, and then you're going to have to go one way out here, one way over here. That's the reason you have orbitals. They want to get to that dark center. And the bigger the dark center, the more electrons want to get in. That's the new model electron flood theory. And it's very, very, very well proven. And I had proven this, well, I say I'd proven it. I couldn't prove it till I had these experiments from Rod Warren, but I'm going to show you what I did do years ago. Okay, this is the one we're going to look at specifically. The other ones, this one gives you a lot of detail, and we're going to discuss this little things here, and how come it's darker there, and why is there little white spots within the black, and all that stuff. I know it's going to take some time to do, but it falls into the electron flood theory, where everything is made of dipoles. There's a black and a white to everything, and a white surrounds the black. You see it? I don't know if you can see that from that far away. That's what it is. The black is always goes to the center. And this has been my dipole flood theory for years. Well, forever. As long as I've been alive, that I can remember being alive. What it does is it takes another encasement of electrons around the nucleus, which is nothing but dark matter. They always thought it was a proton, one big positive thing. Well, it is. And then surrounding it is all equivalent number of white little balls. And then outside of that is the electron orbitals. That's the difference. That's what they miss. See, even this, world's smallest first X-ray of a single atom reveals chemistry on the smallest level. You see these 6-packs wrapped around a black spot? You see these 6-packs here? Wrapped around a black center. And each one of these is a black core with white around it. And these are the leading tips coming forward. These are the Higgs fields. That's the accelerated particle coming through the Venturi, dividing up and turning into a white shower and black particles, which I can easily show you. Here it is right here. This is what they see at the particle accelerators. They break into these pieces, smallest pieces I could ever find. But that's as much as they know about them. They came together. They come through together as light. That's what they are. They're smashing big, huge protons together. So all they see is debris, and they have no idea where it came from. We know this started as pulsed red laser. No question whatsoever. And here it is right now. No question whatsoever. Accelerating. And then dividing here. From this, the glued together bits, to this, the smashed up bits, which is fission. Whenever you divide something, that's fission. Whenever they come back together, that's fusion. Muon, electron, neutrino, together, those black and white balls, supposed to be stuck together. They're never supposed to be apart. But when you do this, the white can't get through. The black comes up and just slaps the white through there because the black can't get through. It's too big. They never get smaller. The white can, see this here? See the white? They can get big and fluffy, and they get little and bitty tiny, and they can squirt right through. This cannot get small like that. These get the same size. Never, ever, 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 ever change. And they're the same for green as they are for blue or for red. You see this red? You see these black spots? The only way you can see them is because they're on top of the white. Otherwise, you'd never see them. The white would always coat them. That's the key. That's why I've never found dark matter. This is, here it is right here. It's electron showers. And the muon goes on its own way. Now, there has to be extra black dark matter laying around. Because this is the dark matter. This is gravity and dark matter. That sucks those white ones back to them like unbelievably. And they lock on solid. The only way you can get them to divide is through that Venturi. And here they are coming through, smashed to bits, and the black is pushing the white forward. You see it? See the black? Pushing the white ahead of it. So the white is concussing and puffing up. The black never does anything other than stays that same size and just keeps pushing. That's nothing more than a subatomic, which means smaller than an atom, smaller than a proton, smaller than a nucleus of anything. It's an explosion, a subatomic nuclear explosion, which creates fission. That's what they do. And then when they come back together shortly, they will be going back to normal particles. That means they fused back together, and that's fusion. Now, can we use this for energy? I think we can. I think we may be able to get a lot of energy out of this, but that's speculation at this moment. But I do believe using a device like this, taking this extreme, whoops, here's the UFOs. Whoops, where am I? Where am I? Roger, where are you? Earth to Roger, here we go. But besides, this is very, very, very interesting. These are all the fields out in space. What are these things? What are all these little things? Are they stars? I don't know. I didn't take this picture, and I can't get through to the guy that did. So I don't even know how he did it exactly. But it's pretty interesting. Now, can we take this power coming through that explosion and push those white, which is the electrons? Electrons are what do the electricity. They are what burns everything. They are the energy. The black just pushes them. So why can't we take that and push it into a solar collector and let the black go on? Well, the black won't get through. This one here, everything came through. That one there is black and white. Normally, the best way to do it would be just the white, which is right here. This one here is just the white. So we put this, a harvester right there. And all you're getting is white. And it doesn't even push it. It'll just be really hot, hot, hot energy. And it'll go down through the photodiode, goes through one way, can't come back. and then you put it in your batteries, run your car, do whatever you want with it. I think this will work. See, this is Livermore Lab. Just did the exact same thing we did, using a cell phone, a extremely high energy laser. They didn't even focus it. It still shot out all this white stuff, but coming out the other side came out the black particles and the white spray. And this was Lawrence Livermore Laboratories, and they're touting this compression, extreme compression. That's what we did, extreme compression, by forcing to go through that venturi. See, there's no question. CMOS, which is nothing more than that cell phone, detects individual light photons. This is not a mystery. It's just that they refuse to even talk about it because it really damages their enormous machines that they cost a ton of money. All this can be done very, very inexpensively, and you get a better outcome, I believe. I got to be honest with you, I don't think they're ever going to get anywhere. They're talking about raising the temperature in this to 100 million degrees Celsius, 180 million Fahrenheit, in order for it to get to fuse other things, in order for it to get to break things apart so they can come back together. I think they're just, because all this millions of degrees, that's just nothing more than extra electrons. They have to force extra electrons in. They should be sucking electrons out. We're sucking electrons out. We're not forcing them in. We're shooting light through, and it's dividing the electrons for us. Okay, I showed you we did create electron showers. Electron showers, we didn't have to use proton-proton collisions and then decay them into hadrons and then create these neutrino and antinon and then decay down to electrons and muons. We are at electron and muon neutrinos right here. Right here. So we don't have to do all that other stuff. And they supposedly have the energy of 100 giga-electron volts to a few trillion electron volts. And that you have seen from that extreme glow. You see that? That's how it comes through the accelerator, and just nothing but raw electrons. That is raw electricity, as far as I'm concerned. I can't see any other way to look at it. That's the shower right there, and this is what the shower is. Electron neutrino turns into a shower. That's that white ball turning into the shower. The black balls never change, the same size everywhere. They never change, no matter whether it's green or black or what. I mean, green or blue or red, it doesn't matter. See, here they are right here. That's the same size ball every single time. No difference, the green to the red to the blue. It does not matter. They stay the same. See, here's the green. Same thing. But the white gets real puffy, and because the green is spinning much faster than the red, it's much more brilliant and concussive. Just to prove my point, you see the green coming through, really brilliant. These are coming through the same slit at the same time. You see how the red is very dull, the green is very bright, and when it comes through, it's actually got some blue tint to it, and then it starts to interact with the atmosphere, and here it's moving with the red. This is what creates these patterns here, is multiple interactions between particles. Otherwise they spin really clean. Let me show you what red normally looks like. But when you mix it with other colors, you get this kind of a spinning deal. Here's from the Department of Defense. These are the little spinners that you see when you have multiple colors. And this is full spectrum light. I'm going to talk about why we have this darkness here and the brightness up front, and anything that I can see in here that is somewhat of an anomaly, I will explain. Okay, my friends, I am going to go through this pretty quick. There's a new study out, just came out today. New study suggests dark matter may be made of dark photons, which is what I've been saying for many years now. And here is photons of light. This came out of a red laser. That's what a photon looks like. And half of the photons are black. See the two black dots and two white dots? It's like two little bar magnets. That's called a Dirac neutrino. And when we can see these. So don't tell me you can't see them. CMOS image sensor detects individual light photons. Yes, it's been doing this since 2014. And we've been doing it as well since 2014. And all of these pictures were taken with a cell phone. That's what CMOS is. It's a cell phone. And these pictures right here, this was taken with it. This is a wave of light. They call about particle wave. There's a particle in here. I'll show you the particle. And it has a magnetic field around it, so the field crashes with every other field here, pushing and shoving back and forth, but the particle initiates the field. It has to go with it. Particle wave duality. All right, so there's the particle. It's just starting to accelerate. Otherwise, you wouldn't even see that. There's no energy to these things at all, basically, until they start to accelerate. And then once it started to accelerate, it took off like a zero-rocket ship. Zoom! And then it smashed here, and the two particles that were together, the black and white, the dark photon, which is really a muon, took off. The white, which is an electron, made a shower. And here's what it is. That's exactly what they say. There's the muon. The black ball took off all by itself, sterile muon. And here's the electron neutrino, which was the white ball. Turns into a shower. We did precisely what they are looking for. And these are the two particles they found. But when they find them at the big particle colliders, it's just trash. They have no idea where they came from. We know where they came from because we started with light. And that's red pulsed laser, the exact same particle in green. See, there's exact same particles. Green, blue, red, doesn't matter. All right, here it is right here. They couldn't reproduce the data correctly, and they found that there was something that was not the case. There is something missing. We model as a contribution produced by the dark photon. They never saw the dark photon before. Photons are supposed to be light. It says the work identified the mass and the mixing of the dark photon with the standard model photon, which is bright. It required to reconcile the discrepancy between the observations and the simulations, what I showed and what they simulated. I showed them what it was, and the only way they could reconcile it was to say, yes, there is a dark photon in there. The effort could drive further theoretical and observational investigations in order to explore the exciting possibility the dark photon could constitute the dark matter, and it does. Oh, so close but so far away. Dark photons are a good candidate for dark matter. Yes, because they are dark matter. Dark photons are hypothetical. No, they're seen now. They are new particles, yes, that are the force carriers. And I can show you they carry the force. They push the white for a new force in the dark sector, much like how the photon is the force carrier for electromagnetism. No, it is not. Well, the photon, yes. The electromagnetism is half of the photon. They really are just very confused at this point. Okay, I showed you this, I'm sure I did. These are the dark photons. They are attached to the white photons. That's all it is. It's dark matter, and that is gravity. That sucks the white back to it, and the white congeals around the black, so you never see the black. It's unseeable until you get down into the subatomic realm. This is the black pushing wave. That's the black dark photon which pushes the white. That's the force carrier. This is the force. Here it is right there. Dark photons, new particles are force carriers. Exactly. They've never seen this before. All right, this is one of those UFO pictures, and I didn't see a lot of them I could make much out of, but this one here I have a little bit to talk about. It is going this way, and it is concussing whatever is in front of it. So there is something here that has a field, and the field is influencing the particles that are in front of it and making them glow, just like our field did of normal light. And we're seeing dark and white things going on in here. I don't know what's pushing what, or is this a secondary like the Dirac? This is the glowy part and this is the black part? I don't know. But it's coming through just like a jet fighter would through the air, and you're seeing this darkness come from behind it, because this is where all the energy is being pushed to. Now that little line right there, we have one of those in ours too. We have the exact same thing, only this is showing dark while ours is showing white. That I can't explain. But I'll show you the difference between this one and ours. Now remember this black line here. We're coming in, splashing everything this way of darkness, and pushing everything this way, dark into white. But these are all the little spinners are nothing more than the dark matter is always in the center of the white. Coming through the atmosphere, we can see it that way. That's all it is. Look, very obvious to me. I've seen it a million times, probably more than a million. And don't forget, look at this thing. You see it there with that line coming up here and the splash coming out and the splash coming in. We've got the same thing, the splash coming in, the line, splash coming out. Only that one's black, ours is white. Now, it's letting a little of the white through. It's not all black coming through. It's just some of the white is coming through. I can't explain that either. We have it just the opposite. We have some of the black coming through and mostly white. You see it here? Some of the black's coming through, but almost mostly all white. But the black is the carrier. It's the pusher. So we're finding everything that they're talking about, and I can show the same particles now. Okay, that cut off a little quick for me, but what I was showing you was the particles that are in space that are the light particles, and I'm showing you the dark carrier. I showed you this is all the same stuff. You see all these little swirly looking things? Those are all those light particles. They're everywhere. And there's the dark particles all went to this side. No white dark particles went to that side. We can shovel them one side to the other. We did it over here too. You see, this has no black coming through whatsoever. The black has to be coming in from somewhere out here. There's no black out through here, not even the tastiest taste of black, nothing, zero blackness, zero. Now, on the other one we did, a little bit of black came in and that showed a wave. This one, this white shower has to find its own dark particles, so they have to be just laying around over here. They didn't jump from here over to here. They lost them on this side. Now they're getting them back again. Where they came from, they have to be just laying around in the air. That's all I can figure out. The other one I showed you was this one here, where see a little bit of the black. You can see a little bit of the black squeezed through that. The Venturi wasn't quite as tight, and just a taste of the black got through, and that we can see is the pusher. Now before this was just nothing but white, so there was no black getting through. So the black was being reattached out here. Where it came from is it just has to be laying around. That's all I can figure. One last wrap up. These are the two particles they all know exist, but they don't know where they came from. They just know that they're in their particle zoo, and they're the smallest ones that they can find. Well, they are parts of light, and that is a gluon, which is, to my mind, is an electron. So is that. Back to back, they make a photon. And we saw the particles coming in as these. We saw them doing fission right here, breaking apart, coming back here as fusion. You see all these little black and white particles? This is the only time you can see them, when you have the black on top of the white. Coming through the air, you can see these. But you can't see them inside of this air. You're never going to see that. But coming out of space, you can see them. Somewhere, you see it? There they are. We're looking off into the darkness of space, seeing through and seeing the light surrounding these particles. It's just, and I tell you, I've been telling people this for years and years. Oh, you can't see light with CMOS. Absolutely you can. And they just did it a couple days ago. They say we finally found light using basically a cell phone. That's all they used. They shot an extremely high-powered laser in it, and it squirted out the exact same particles that we squirted out. These ones right here, the black ones, all mixed in with the white. They show it very clearly in their little doodle. They don't show it the way we show it. We show it actually pictures. They show on these little doodles, but saying exactly the same thing. See, this is Lawrence Livermore, exactly identical to what they're doing, only they didn't funnel. They used an extremely high energy laser. This is nothing more than a cell phone, squirting out particles out the back, the same black and white spray and the black particles, exactly as I showed you. And this is just a few days ago. They put this out, experiment shed lights on pressure-driven ionization. Pressure is when we forced it into the Venturi. They're putting pressure by hitting it like a trillion zillion volt laser. We're just shooting a little easy laser, but we're focusing it down and forcing the fields to collide. Much more elegant than what they're doing. Now, I got to be honest with you, I've been doing papers on this for 8 years about this dark matter, and I called it dark matter is light on its way to the Earth. And I had all kinds of papers about it. And I had, to this day, to this very day, to this very instant, I have never had one question from academia, and I went through all of them. I slaughtered them with this stuff. All I have had is dismissal. You can't see stuff. You can't see photons. You're a crazy guy. You know, the guy from Fermilab calls me a tinfoil hat pseudoscience fool, basically. And they just won't listen. No listening whatsoever. Just nothing but denial so they can keep their trillion-dollar devices sucking money out of the economy like water. And that's all I see. I have no interest in truth whatsoever from any of these academics. They're all perfectly happy, deluded. And this is my problem, and it's gnawing at me very, very deeply. It's hitting the bone, baby, long time ago. It's time to get this. This is ridiculous. You know, my new school is going to address all this. We're done with all this nonsense from these people. It's nothing but all they're trying to do is take your money from you. And then I see a big thing about how they're going, well, we're going to accept some of the lesser privileged people so they can get an education too, so we can indoctrinate them too. No, that's all it is. It's indoctrination, menticide. They are using you for their own benefit against your own benefit. I see these kids are sleeping in their cars with a PhD. With all kinds of education. They have because they owe so much money, never going to make that money back. I don't know what they're going to do. It's a real mess. And you're seeing it every day. You see, new thoughts on education. Well, you better have new thoughts on it. You better get it straight for a change and get rid of these people that are nothing but dictators. You have no recourse against them whatsoever. You raise your voice and you say, well, what about what Roger's showing? Sit in the back of the class, shut up, you just got an F. And we're keeping your money. How about that? Don't ever raise your voice to me again. That's what you're going to get.